Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday dance class brought to you by NJPAC's world famous Community Engagement Department. I, of course, am Kyra Ruth, and I'm here with the whole crew that includes Najia, Aisha, Kamar, and Donna. And we are thrilled to have you here with us once again. Before we get started, I must give a shout out to ADP, MNC Bank, and RWJ Barnabas Health, who are the sponsors of NJPAC's community engagement programs. You know, our classes have been going on for over a year now. And if you've missed any of our classes, feel free to join on YouTube. You can watch them and take them all over again. Also, don't forget to follow NJPAC on social media. If you see our posts, like and share them with your family and friends. As we prepare to reopen our doors, be sure to check out njpac.org for a listing of upcoming virtual events as well as in-person events. You'll also be able to view the upgrades and guidelines we have in place for keeping NJPAC COVID safe. Tonight, we are pleased to have Molly from RWJ Barnabas Health with us for our monthly nutrition segment that is sure to offer tips on healthy eating and more. Molly, I'm going to pass the mic over to you.
Great. Thank you, Kara. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great Wellness Wednesday. My name is Molly. I'm one of the dietitians at North Beth Israel Medical Center and RWJ Barnabas Health Facility. I specifically work in our community wellness department. So today I'm going to share my screen real quick with everyone. And today, here we go. We're going to be talking about fiber today. So obviously this is a super active Wednesday for everyone, our Wellness Wednesdays. So we want to make sure we're obviously fueling our bodies with really healthy foods. And what the most underutilized nutrient I think that we don't talk about enough is fiber. Fiber plays so many important roles in the regulation of our bodies, but also in the prevention of disease. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So fiber, what kind of foods does fiber come from, right? It comes from carbohydrates. So when we talk about all the foods that we eat 3 macronutrients. That means there are 3 different things that can give us calories, right? Or give our body energy to do all the lovely things we like to do, especially to dance, right? So those 3 macronutrients are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Today, we're just going to be talking about carbohydrate, carbs. I think everyone's favorite, right? But carbs kind of get a bad rap. I think carbs are the new fat. In the 90s, we wanted to restrict fat, and we were always talking about cutting back on that. And now everyone wants to restrict their carbohydrates. But if you look at my PowerPoint, everything on this page is considered a carbohydrate. Your body's going to break it down. And these are all fabulous foods that we definitely want to be including in our diet, right? So carbohydrates give us 4 calories per gram. And those calories are coming from basically sugars, and fiber, which is what we're talking about today. So some of those sugar sources are things like sucrose, which is true sugar, like that comes from sugar cane or beet sugar. Glucose, which is the kind of sugar that we find in fruits and vegetables, as well as honey. Galactose, which is the kind of sugar that's in milk and dairy products. Fructose, also in fruits and honey. And maltose, which is found in barley. So, again, that's where some of our calories and our carbohydrates are coming from, but let's talk about the good stuff. Let's talk about the fiber. So there are 2 different kinds of fiber. The foods that fiber is found in really overlaps. We have soluble fiber and we have insoluble fiber. So soluble fiber found in things like oatmeal, nuts, beans, and some fruit. When we digest that soluble fiber, it kind of mixes with water in our stomach. We'll get to water and why that's really important to be taking in when we're taking in a lot of fiber. But it creates this gel-like substance in our stomach. And we'll talk about what that does in just a minute, but that's the soluble fiber. And then insoluble fiber is really what's found in the skins of fruit. So that's why I always say for yourself, or if you're cutting up fruit for the kids, try to keep that skin on as much as you can. So if we were to eat an apple, like a whole apple, it's going to have about 4.5 grams of fiber in that whole apple. When you peel the skin off, it goes down to about 1.5 grams of fiber. Right? So really keep that skin on fruit, on things like apples and pears, whatever you can leave it on, cucumbers, all that kind of stuff. But you'll see there's some overlap. So we get both soluble fiber and insoluble fiber from things like fruits or veggies and some of our grains. So let's really get into that fiber and why it's really important, right? So recommended daily intake about 25 grams a day for women, 38 grams a day for men. So, and fiber is so important. It helps to decrease cholesterol levels, promote healthy blood sugar levels, prevent constipation, which we all pretty much know. We know fiber helps to kind of move things along in the digestive system. And then also decrease risk for certain cancers. So I'm going to go back to that soluble fiber. When we have, when we eat that soluble fiber, like I said, it meshes with water in our stomach, and it creates a gel-like substance. That gel actually is going to help kind of pull and stick cholesterol to it, and then we excrete it when we go to the bathroom. So it helps to drop our cholesterol levels in our body. So really important for our healthy heart, and then also our blood sugar levels. So that the insoluble fibers, right? All that skin and the fruits and vegetables, when we're eating that, it takes our body a little bit longer to digest it, which is really important. That slows down how fast your body pulls the sugar out of the foods that you're eating and spikes your blood sugars, right? And we know that when our blood sugars are all over the place, that can lead to type 2 diabetes. If you have a history of diabetes personally or in your family, something to definitely consider, and making sure we're getting enough fiber can really help with that. And like I said, preventing constipation, I think that's what we all know fiber is really good for, and it certainly is. It helps to kind of bulk up our stool and make sure we're going to the bathroom more regularly, which obviously just makes us feel better. It helps with our energy levels, you know, prevents any kind of cramping, things like that. And that fiber intake is also linked with decreased risk for certain cancers. It's certainly a decreased risk for any kind of colon cancers, and other digestive tract cancers. And also we found decreased risk for cancers, breast cancer in women. So eat your fiber. Let's talk about, so what kind of foods can we get fiber from, right? So first and foremost, fruits and vegetables. And I'm a big proponent, I'm always gonna say, get your vitamins and minerals and your fiber from foods, right? Let's worry about that before we're worrying about supplementing things, right? So yes, we could go and we could grab a fiber 1 bar, and yes, we're gonna get fiber throughout the day. We could get up to that 25 grams if we're a woman. We could get up to that 38 grams if we're a man, but we're not getting any of the good things that come with naturally occurring fiber, right? Like what you see in the picture, right? So fruits and vegetables are going to be, first and foremost, our source of fiber. But like I said, the skin is going to be really important, but basically the way that I teach this when I'm teaching this to kids, fiber is the part of the food that we have to chew. So this is where you can kind of use that example of why would we eat an orange versus orange juice, right? We don't have to chew anything if we're drinking orange juice. And then kids will always say, but what about if it has pulp in it? It's not enough. It's not going to be enough to be considered full of fiber. So we always want to choose the whole fruit or vegetable over a juice option, right? And then also, if you are a fan of juicing, I think that can mean a lot of things to different people. The last time I was on here, if you were on here with me, we made, I think, a green juice together. If you are using a blender and you're throwing in a bunch of things and you end up drinking it all at the end, that's totally fine. If you're using a juice extractor where you have a machine that gives you juice that comes out one end and then the pulp that comes out the other, and the design is to discard that pulp, that's what I want you to avoid, those kinds of equipment, right? Because that pulp, that's your fiber. That's all of it that you're just dumping right in the trash. So use a NutriBullet, use any kind of blender that you've got, but just keep it all there together, right? We want to avoid those juicers where we're getting rid of all of that fiber, right? Because that's the main benefit for us. So when we're talking about fruits and vegetables, we want to aim for between 5 and 9 cups a day, but we definitely want that to weigh heavy on the veggie side, right? So you'll see here, we want to aim for about 2 cups of fruit a day and about 3 to 6 cups of veggies a day. And that really just comes down to calorie density, right? So there's going to be more calories in most of our fruits compared to our vegetables. But the most important part here is we want to make sure we're getting a variety of fruits and vegetables. We kind of say we want to eat the whole rainbow, because not only are we getting fiber from these foods, but we're also getting vitamins and minerals. But different color fruits and vegetables give us different vitamins and minerals. And so when we're eating a variety of colors, a variety of textures, that's how we know we're getting all the different vitamins and minerals that our body needs. We typically know that carrots are high in vitamin A, right? Or beta carotene, which is good for our eyes. But really it's anything that is orange. So sweet potatoes, cantaloupe, pumpkin, clementines, oranges, all those things that are orange are going to have higher concentrations of vitamin A. If we talk about dark green leafy vegetables like kale or spinach, broccoli, collard greens, Swiss chard, callaloo, broccoli, did I say broccoli? Probably. But any of those dark greens, those are going to be high in vitamin K, really important for our blood. So that just comes back to why we're choosing a variety and making sure we've got a lot of different colors going on our plates. So, and like I said, so 2 cups of fruit, 3 to 6 cups of vegetables. We want to try to limit our fruit juice consumption because, again, no fiber. So if we go back to that apple example, remember 4.5 grams of fiber for the whole apple with the skin on, 1.5 for just the apple peeled, and then we're down to absolutely 0 if we're talking a cup of apple juice, right? So yes, we're going to get some of the vitamin C that's in that apple if we drink it as juice, but we get no fiber. And I would say the fiber is even more important for our overall health compared to the vitamin C component, right? So just something to keep in mind. And when we're talking about whole fruits and vegetables, everything is in play, right? So fresh and frozen should be our first choices. Frozen fruits and vegetables tend to get a pretty bad rap, but they're actually, sometimes they're even higher in vitamins and minerals than the fresh stuff. You know, think about in the dead of winter here, if we are getting berries, if you're getting blueberries, they certainly weren't grown here in New Jersey. They were grown in a warm climate and they were shipped here. If they were frozen, they were pretty much picked and frozen within hours of when they were picked. So it really locks in all those nutrients right away before they're shipped around. We have to wait for them to come here like we do with fresh things in the winter. So especially the winter around here is a really great time to buy frozen stuff. When you are buying frozen, make sure you're paying attention to that nutrition facts label. We want to shoot for the only ingredient in that product should be that product. If you're buying frozen broccoli, only ingredient in there should be broccoli. Canned, also really great options. When you are buying things like canned tomatoes, canned beans, just make sure you're choosing a low sodium option if you can. That's going to help cut back on some of the salt that needs to be in there for canning processes. Again, if you're buying beans though, make sure you rinse and drain all that canning liquid away. You can usually wash away about 1/3 of the sodium that is still in that can. So that will also help to bring down the sodium levels. We can always add in salt when we're cooking, but it's hard to take it away. So start as low as you can and then work up from there. And then obviously really great choices, dried beans and any kind of dried fruit. So where else do we get fiber from? You know, actually, let me also just open up the chat in case anybody is, so I can see. Oh, maybe I can't do that while I'm on screen share. Sorry, guys. I'll check when we're done. So also full of fiber are whole grains. So when we're talking about grain foods, things like brown rice, whole wheat pastas, whole wheat breads, those are going to be higher in fiber compared to their white counterparts, white rice, white pasta, white bread. So, and it comes back to here. So if you guys envision this grain that's on my screen here as a single grain of rice, right? It has 3 layers. It has that outside layer, which is the bran. And we might think of that as think like raisin bran or something like that, like a bran flake, right? Or if you can also buy bran flour, right, to cook with. And so that's that outer layer. And that layer is super important, mainly because that's where the fiber is housed. And that layer is typically on most grains brown, which is why any kind of whole grain tends to be brown. When you get down into the middle layer, it's called the endosperm. That layer is typically white in color. That is where we're getting the majority of the calories from. So that's where the carbohydrate or the energy is contained and a little bit of protein as well. And then a tiny inner layer is the germ layer. That is where the majority of the vitamins are housed. So B vitamins and vitamin E, as well as some other minerals in there. Think like wheat germ. If anyone had wheat germ in there, I know it was always in my dad's fridge growing up. He was a big fan of wheat germ on his yogurt. But so it's that little inside of the grain. And it, again, it houses all of the vitamins, right? So when we take that really healthy whole grain here, we've got our grain of brown rice and we're turning it into something like white rice, or we want to refine a piece of wheat to turn it into white flour. These get milled in grain factories and the outside layer is removed. So that bran layer is removed and that germ layer is removed as well. And so we're just left with the endosperm. So we take this really healthy grain that has all this fiber and all these vitamins and minerals. we take all that good part away and we're just left with the calories in the center. Don't get me wrong, white rice is totally great at certain times, and there are certain recipes where it's totally called for. But as far as our everyday foods, go for the most bang for your buck. Make sure you're getting all of those really important layers here. And when we're talking about whole grain products, there are so many out there on the market, especially if you're just in the bread aisle, it can be overwhelming. You want to make sure you're looking for the word whole. Whole is really important. That's going to tell you that all of these layers are still there and still totally intact. And then the second thing that I want you to look for is flip that package over, look at the nutrition facts label, and go down to the fiber section, which is underneath the carbohydrate section. You want to aim for at least 3 grams of fiber per serving. If not 4 or more, that's great, but at least 3 is what you want to aim for. So that would be like 3 grams of fiber for 1 slice of bread, for example. And so then our last main food source of fiber are beans, nuts, and seeds, which are also giving us protein. They're also giving us healthy fat, but they're also, like we're talking about today, a very great source of fiber. A serving size for beans is about 1/4 cup, and a serving size for serving size for beans is 1/2 cup. For nuts is about 1/4 cup. For the nuts, about, if you guys were to cup your palm really, really tightly, that little amount that would fit inside the palm of your hand is going to be about 1/4 cup when we're talking about portioning out any kind of nuts. Okay, so that's our beans, nuts, and seeds. So the next thing we need to talk about, so we're going to increase our fiber intake. I hope I've convinced you it's better for our hearts, it's better for our digestive tract, and preventing long-term disease. But when we do that, we're adding all this fiber, and especially if it's not something you're used to, I don't want you to jump from never paying attention to your fiber and then starting to incorporate this all. It can lead to some stomach cramping, especially if it's not a regular part of your diet existing. But then the other really important part, when you increase your fiber, you have to increase your water intake, right? Because water is going to help kind of flush that all through. We talked about how that soluble fiber needs to bind to water to form that gel to do its job. And it's also going to help decrease the cramping, right? We can get kind of cramping and gas if we're taking in too much fiber that our body is not used to. And again, without pairing it with enough water. So on a regular day, your regular day, not a super hot day, we want to get at least 64 ounces of water, which is 8 glasses of water a day, or 4 of like a Poland Spring size 16-ounce bottle, 4 of those a day. On a dance day, I would say on an exercise day, we're drinking more. If you are outside, if it is hot, we're even drinking more. So this 64 ounces is our baseline just for general health. Again, and if you're starting to incorporate more fiber in your diet, again, we're going to go even beyond the 64 ounces and drink more. Make water easily accessible. Try to just keep water next to you. Keep a water bottle around so it's ready and there to drink. You're not waiting to the point that you get thirsty. If we reach that point where we are physically thirsty, it means you are already dehydrated, right? Because your body, there are so many different triggers that have to happen in your body for you to actually feel that thirst sensation. It means that you were dehydrated a couple hours ago, and now you still are because you're experiencing that thirst. If you are not a water drinker, or if you don't like plain water, add stuff to it. Lemon, limes, oranges, strawberries, blueberries, melons, cucumbers, mint. Get creative, add something in there just to promote drinking it more, make it easily accessible and make it something that you enjoy. So, all right, so those are some, so that's what we're talking about today. Fiber, increasing our water to combat or to complement that fiber intake. I just want to go through some of the resources we have at North Beth Israel, and then I'm going to check the chat in case anyone has questions. So go ahead and fill that chat up with questions. Some of the things that we have going on is for the community at North Beth Israel. So we have our wellness center, which I'll get to in 1 second, but we also have our greenhouse and our farmers market. We are set to, well, we were set to start our farmers market tomorrow outside our greenhouse. We're going to be on hold because we're getting lightning tomorrow. So we'll be starting next Thursday, June 10th, at the Beth Greenhouse, which is on the corner of Osborne Terrace and Lehigh Avenue, right behind North Beth Israel. We are there every Thursday from 11 to 4, barring the weather. So definitely come check us out. We accept cash, we accept SNAP, we accept WIC, and we accept senior farmers market vouchers. Please share that with the community, with anyone you know who may benefit. Also, if anyone is paying with SNAP, we have a double bucks program. So SNAP users only pay 50% of their bill when they shop at the market. So we've got some information there. I also have my information for you guys. So I mentioned we have a wellness center. So this is our calendar for June. I'll be sure to send this over to Aisha so it can get shared with the group. But we have all different virtual programs going on throughout the week and throughout the month of June. We have support groups. We have cooking classes for adults. We have cooking classes for kids. And like I said, support groups. We have a lot of prenatal programs, prenatal yoga, and some breastfeeding support groups as well, smoking cessation, lots of fun things. So like I said, what questions do you guys have? I'm gonna leave up, this is my contact information. So you guys can reach out to me via phone or email anytime. I am going to, oh, I'm just gonna check the chat. Sorry, guys.
Good question.
96 ounces a day, running through that night. When should I stop or not going to overnight? So honestly, that's going to really be individualized for every person as far as stopping drinking, as far as in relation to your bed. I would just kind of keep pushing it back a little bit, try half an hour before bed and see if that helps. If not, maybe try an hour. But I also wouldn't, 96 is great. I wouldn't restrict your water intake though, you know, especially if you're able to get up for the bathroom and fall back asleep quickly. You know, I would say the hydration benefits are going to outweigh the quick sleep interruption. But if it ruins your whole night of sleep, then certainly you got to do something about it and push back your drinking hour so you have a buffer there so you're not experiencing that at nighttime. So what other questions do you guys have?
Thank you.
You're welcome, you guys.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if you're gluten, you can't have gluten or soy, but you talked about having like the grains, what can you have?
Oh, that's great. So soy wouldn't really impact too much of a fiber standpoint, especially if you're going for fresh products, because soy you're going to find in that scenario, you would find it in a lot of like freezer products, things like that. If you can't have gluten, that's okay. You can still choose other grains that are gluten-free, that are still high in fiber, things like quinoa, farro, brown rice would still be fine. They do make like a chickpea pasta is going to be high in protein. Ezekiel bread should be fine. You'll find that frozen in the freezer section. Yeah. Oh, non-gassy vegetables. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I have a dog. No problem. Sorry, everyone. That's my trick. I give my dog cheese. Non-fiber snack. Yes. So beans and broccoli and yes, beans and broccoli are definitely going to be gassy. So so your fruits, you won't experience that problem. Things like cucumbers, peppers, they also have like a thicker skin on them. Zucchini, eggplant, tomatoes, those are all going to be non-gassy, but still high in fiber. Peas, corn. All right, guys. If anyone has questions, don't hesitate. My number and my email were up there. Like I said, I'll get that calendar over to Aisha to send out to the group. And otherwise, have a really fun dance tonight. Enjoy, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks,
Aisha,
Molly.
Kira, I appreciate it.
You're amazing. Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone.
You too. That was some really great information that I'm sure all of us found really helpful. Now, are you guys ready to start dancing? To close out our celebration of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, tonight we are pleased to welcome Taiwanese American director, choreographer, and dancer, Peter Cheng. Peter holds a BFA in dance from the University of California at Santa Barbara and has trained professionally with Alonzo King Lines Ballet, ODC Dance, Sidra Bell Dance New York, and more. He is now the artistic director of his own company, Peter & Co. In tonight's class, you will explore the body in relation to rhythm and pulse, fluid dynamics, and deep anatomic listening. Let us all welcome Peter to the Wellness Wednesday dance floor.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. So this is going to be my front camera. I find that when I'm learning, especially, I have a very hard time flipping everything. So I'm going to turn on the back camera really quick. And then today I'll just lead everyone through kind of a meditation. I don't know where everyone's at post Memorial Day holiday, middle of the week, pandemic. We're all kind of inside. And then we'll get some moves down, and then I'll teach a very short combination. So I'll be right back. Okay, that's the back camera. Great. I think if anyone is sitting, modify as needed. This is going to be a pretty movement heavy class. Do as you need. Please don't injure yourself. This is for you and your own. So whatever you need. So we're just going to start. If you're sitting or standing, go ahead and just face the camera. If you feel like having your camera off, or if you have your camera on, it's entirely up to you. Again, this practice, I just want to welcome, everyone who is coming from an incredible dance background or somebody who might just be beginning. This is your practice. This is for you, wherever you are. So let's go ahead and just get started with our eyes closed. We're just going to put our hands on our chest. And we're going to take a couple steps. I'm standing in kind of an open stance. If you're sitting, you can do that. And just be conscious of how your breath is coming in and out of your space, and really feeling as your chest lifts with air, your hands follow it. You don't need to put too much pressure on your chest, just kind of be more aware of the rhythm of your inhale and your exhale. And as you're doing that, wherever you're dialing in from, whatever's going on during the week as we get caught up after the long holiday, we're just going to bring our mind into the present space now for the next hour or so. We're going to be really aware of the sensitivities of our body. Continue feeling the inhale in and the exhale out. And we'll just do a visual body scan. If you're sitting or standing, we're going to start at the top of the head. And the image I want everyone to kind of think about is breaking a raw egg on the very top of your head. And as that happens, just feeling the drip of the yolk melting down and feeling a little bit of a buzz at the top of the head. And as it leads down to the foreheads and the ear and the top of the back of the head, feeling a sense of calm and relaxation. Continuing down towards the face, eyes continues to close. Feeling your face relaxing, whatever tension that's happening in your mind. If you're gritting your teeth, if you're grimacing, whatever you're doing, just relax your face a little bit. And as you feel the yolk coming down towards your neck and your shoulders, if you feel any tension, you can also cross your arms. This helps me a lot. And feeling your shoulders really relaxing. And continuing feeling that heaviness that is going down and the lightness that continues to pull up. And go ahead and just put your hands by your side. If you're sitting, you can put them on your thighs or your lap, whatever's most comfortable. And continue feeling the yolk dripping down towards your midsection, relaxing your torso, relaxing the sides. If you hold any tension in your back like I do all the time, in your lower back, go ahead and release that. And as you feel it going down to your hips, half of your body is now in an incredibly relaxed mode. You're present in the space to take in whatever you need. And if you're in a standing pose, I'm just doing parallel And you can really feel as you're coming through, just a sense of relaxation going down towards the feet. And even if you're sitting, feel your feet planted to the floor in whichever position, and now all the weight coming from the top of your head down to your feet, as if your feet are roots going into the floor. And continuing feeling that sense of relaxation and groundedness as you come to your body. And once again, just do a light scan from the top of your head all the way down, your forehead, your face, relaxing any jaw muscles that you might be holding, feeling the heaviness in your shoulders, dripping down your fingers and your hips, and anatomically relaxing your thighs and your knees, feeling that alignment to the ankles and to the floor. And if you like, just bring your hands back to your chest and return to that space of inhalation and exhalation. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And if you can imagine the center of your forehead radiating light, and you feel a sense of tingling and relaxation, just finding your body in the space. And again, wherever you're at, I'm going to lead you through a semi-warm-up. If you're seated, if you're standing, if you're seated, visualize where you are in your body. If you're standing, I will continue guiding everyone through. So just stay in this calm standing pose, rooted feet to the ground. We're going to start from the bottom up this time. And you're going to feel just the minute feelings within your ankles and your toes. Maybe as if you're sitting or standing, feel your toes gripping the ground and releasing. I'm just demonstrating with my hands. And you can relax the ankles just a little bit, come to a semi-plie. Your knees are relaxed a little bit. And the weight that you're feeling continues down your lower back to the floor. And just gentle sways. We can think of the body in a three-dimensional space. For reference, front, back, side, side. Front diagonal, left diagonal, back diagonal. And starting to move the feet in a little bit more activation in whichever way. Maybe doing a couple of articulations through the feet and the ankles. This is really self-guided. Maybe just deal with one ankle, maybe one of them feels off. And as you're coming through, we're really going to focus on the partnership of the joints of the body. So within your toes, your metatarsals, your ankles, and your knees. These are all joints that you have within your body. Continue feeling that the top of the body still is not really in activation mode. You're really just exploring the groundedness of your feet. And now as you move towards the calves up to the knees, continue that exploration, maybe a couple of bends. Remember, we're starting from the ground up. So whichever position you're feeling, continue moving through. Feel waves coming through your ankles and your toes all the way up to your knees. Do just a couple of very light bounces. And as we feel the thighs activating just a little bit with the quads and the back of the hands hamstrings, start finding your hip joints. These are interesting. You have a little bit more mobility. It's almost like the ankle joints to the hip joints. The knee joints are interesting. They really only move in specific directions. And again, just the lower half of the body, finding it through. If you need to continue articulating the feet, continue doing that. Maybe find a bit more extreme movements throughout. And really using the hips. I like to find kind of like an infinity or an 8 shape. If you were to lay an 8 flat down, you can find that as well. And now moving through the torso, your spine and your activation, moving through. Again, remember to relax, to move more. Relax to move more. And we're continuing to find that torso activation down to the feet. You can find the legs coming up to the ground and back, or you can activate from the torso back down. Involve your head just a little bit, not too extreme. As a natural inclination, your body's going to want to do some oppositions. You can find some mirroring of the same sides of the body. And as we move through, start feeling your chest and your upper back. Now we move to the other joints, your shoulders. Whatever you need here as we're moving through. Activating the body just a little bit more. And if you need to come out of that standing parallel, you can do that as well. Good. So we have the metatarsals, we have the ankle joints, we have the knee joints, we have the hip joints, we have the shoulder joints. We have the spine moving towards the room. And now start finding your upper spine with your head and moving through with that. Good. We're not quite to the hands yet. We'll get there, not quite to the other joints, the elbows. Again, maybe you just find, again, these opposition forces that are moving through your body. Swings left to right. Or similar, we can move this way. Good. And really find luxury in each part of your body as you're scanning your chins through and down. Now we're going to start activating the elbows just a little bit. Again, these are some fascinating joints throughout the body. I'm finding that circles and articulations happen throughout all the joints. So now you have your ankles and your knees and your hips, your spine, your shoulders, and your elbows. And this is super free form. Again, finding opposition wherever you want to move. And again, it helps kind of just staying in place and allowing yourself to feel as if you're in a continuous vertical box that goes from the ground all the way up to the infinity sky. Feeling the elbows. Good, maybe we do a couple stretches to find the opposition of up and down. And as we're moving through, remember to involve your head, looking different directions. This is really just luxurious. That's what I think about. This is very sensual. It's very movement oriented. And find positions to move to the center and out. Good. And now finding other parts. We have your wrists. These are some interesting joints as well. Each of your fingers. Good. Activating all the way from the toes, feeling against the ground, to the ankles, the knees, the hips, the spine, your shoulder joints, elbows and fingers. Good. And now the energy that we started with the egg cracking down, we're really starting to feel all parts of the body. Continue to move pretty slow. If you want, you can face a different direction. Now really finding more expansive space, so we're gonna start moving out of this two-dimensional space a little bit and really go far out. Good. Try reaching in separate directions, but continuing to find where those joints are going. Maybe find a different place in your room or your living room, or even your chair, your couch. Keep tuning in with that sensitivity of the breath from in and out. And we're just gonna go for a couple of minutes and find more warmth through the body. Cool, continue forward. Good. Wherever you are in space, continuing to find that. Good. We're just going to add another element, which is in response to sound. So if you feel the interpretation of a note, react to that. So now your body is fully sensitive to all the joints, your focus, and also the music. You're going to continue to move through. And if you're standing in the empty space, find a little bit deeper now that we're a little bit warmer. We can stretch out to a second. pulling my knee up. So the symmetry and the activation of that creates a really cool visual effect with your body. Yeah? Cool. And we can find more ways of finding that are a little bit faster. And as we move through, using the focus even towards the screen, right? Cool. Finding that through different ways of activating. Just find a bit more speed there. Maybe a couple steps through. Even something as simple as the wrist, right? We're bringing it up. Continuing finding that composition so we can move up the energy ball. We can find anything within the shapes of the ankles, the knees, the shoulders. Find your bear down moment. Find your energy ball moment. Reaching out through. Good. And finding that position as well, right? So off balance, through, and down. Keep finding that for yourself. If you're sitting, it could just be as simple as finding these articulations within the fingers, right? Going through, again, not touching, but there could be something where there's an invisible force moving through. So there's no contact, but it's pulling through. And you can find opposition to those folks as well. Again, if you want to just find the angle of these joints, fluctuating on the side pose, elbows moving through. We're going to find the idea of spirals now. So, with each of your joints, as they're moving through your elbows and your knees, there's a continuous vortex that happens of energy up and down. And you can find spirals moving through, moving down through the body. Continue finding those moments of vortex. And then maybe simple as finding a movement. And then use that. And as slow or fast as you like. Yeah, circles, spirals, smooth moves. Your inhale, responding to rhythm. Couple more minutes of this. And a bit more activation. Even if you're sitting, there could be more movements within your torso, your body. If you're in a space to move, finding areas of your space, moving around, using steps to transfer your weight. Good. Finding this for a couple more moments. Finding growth. Continue forward with this concept. We're almost there. Good. beautiful. Karen, Dara, Lorraine, beautiful. Teresa, beautiful. Yeah, really feeling the activation of that. Even if you have a place just to sit, right?
I think someone just said that they're having difficulty hearing the music.
Oh, they are, okay. It's pretty loud, cool. Oh, some of the cues, I'm sorry, I'll speak louder. Okay, great. We're gonna do one more just cool down. So wherever you are, finding yourself, if you've been moving back into the space, and now, just again, find your grounded place on the floor, wherever you are. Maybe your heart rate's a little bit up. And again, feeling that sense of groundedness within your feet, your ankles, and taking that warmth and really planting through the floor and out. And as we activate, we're just gonna lift the ankles a little bit. So you're standing. Don't lock your knees or your ankles, just feel a sense of length now between your ankle joints and your knee joints. And as we feel that sensitivity from your knees to the thighs, you're gonna feel a sense of lift in the space that we've created by stretching and articulating those muscles. You're just gonna feel about 2 to 3 inches taller. And again, as we move through the torso and the spine, feeling that lift and that activation. If you put your hands on the sides of your torso and you pull out, you can feel that sense. And again, without gripping or lifting anything, this should be really relaxed. And you're just feeling a sense of height. And then again, just put your hands, you can put it on your chest and your stomach or your chest. Feeling your heartbeat just a little bit more, it's probably a little bit faster. Good. Relaxing the shoulders. And still feeling that lift. Take your hand and just put it in the back of your head. Give it gentle support. And just pull up just slightly. With not even that much force, and feel the back of your neck stretching. And while you're doing that, feel your shoulders relax. So there should be really a sense of length between here and here. And again, just a gentle support of the head. And just drop your arm. And now just feeling a breath coming through. Imagine the activation of that egg in reverse that you cracked. It's going to start reversing and coming back into a hole. Good. Continue taking a couple breaths with the body. Feeling just a sense of relaxation. Good. Take 3 activated breaths in and out, and then we'll do a bit of a break and get some water before we teach the combo. So in and out, in, and exhale out. And in, and out. We'll do 2 more in. Your last one, take a huge breath in. And as you breathe out, Send that exhale energy through the floor. And feel incredibly grounded. Bring your hips down. And if your eyes are closed, gently flutter them open. Say thank you to your body for being here. Good. All right. So I need some water and I'm going to go to the bathroom. If we can take 2 minutes. And if there's any questions in the chat, feel free to hop them in and then I'll try to answer them. But I'll give 2 minutes.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? Affirmations, confirmations, are you enjoying the class? Please hydrate. I don't know if he mentioned at the beginning of the class, it is 106 degrees where he is. So it's very warm.
Hi, everyone. Okay. Thank you for that. For those of you who, well, is there any feedback? Are we good? Does everyone feel warm in their respective bodies? 106. What is, oh. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yes. So there were a couple of them. I'll just type in the artist. Tani Arana was the first. Yes, absolutely, Dara. In all ways and forms. I'll talk towards the end in terms of my crazy journey about to dance. So I think, activation in yourself and in respect to your body is important in any way that you can move. So just by being here, I'm very happy. So I'm going to teach a combination. I don't like counts, but I like movement. So I'm going to teach the steps and then we'll go through a couple times. And then the music is just, it's very drony, it's very free form. And it really just allows everyone to find their own articulations. I also have trouble flipping things, as I mentioned. So that camera back there will help with those who pretend that I'm in front of you, teaching you the combination. For those of you do you want to see me from the front, you can do that as well. So, and I probably won't be able to see the chat too much. So if you have a question, just unmute and say, hey, Peter, I have a question. And then I'll answer it. Okay, cool. So, yeah, thank you, Teresa. We're just gonna start in a parallel. If you're thinking of the front of the room, I'm just facing right diagonal and just in a parallel form, And from here, you're just going to reach the left diagonal and down. Yeah, so just finding up and down. From here, you're going to roll your right shoulder and your left shoulder. And then from here, you do a brush out, attitude, pass through. Yeah. So we reach the right foot, ankle, and then you pop at the same time and you plie both. From here, you articulate the right shoulder, the left shoulder, you pull it through. From here, you're gonna step, go to this diagonal, and pull your arms out. Yeah. So once again, it goes up, through. We're gonna go right, left, brush. We're gonna step across to this diagonal. And then from here, we bring the arms in here. You're in a pretty wide parallel second, and your focus is back that way. It's even behind the right arm. Yeah. So it's almost like you got slapped from here. Down, we go right, left, pull, step across, dive. Yeah. So the feet, just plie. From here, you brush. This is kind of turned out, or you could do it parallel. From here, you just step across and go to a second. Yeah. Arms are a little bit more complicated. So we pull through the right shoulder, left shoulder. From here, you're gonna bring your cross arms through. And as you open, you're just gonna open them out this way. Yeah, so it coincides with the parallel. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of this, by the way. So that's why we went through the warm up to find your body. So we go left, down, right shoulder, left shoulder, brush, step, cross through your arms, and pull back. Yeah. We'll just do that sequence all together a couple times and we'll go on. So we go up, down, right shoulder, left shoulder, brush through, step, cross, hit second position. Yeah. So similarly, you're almost kind of like if it is like a splat moment. Yeah. So here, you're facing the left diagonal. You're in a pretty wide parallel second, and your arms are back that way. Yeah. If anything, that is definitely just an articulation. So if I'm doing it, I go pretty smooth here. It's almost like a step. Yeah, so that's a moment of huh. And you can exaggerate it to make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. One more time, we'll go on. So we go reach, we go down, right shoulder, left shoulder, brush, develop way through, and hit. Okay. From here, your right arm is going to go under your left, and you're going to reach this way. And your right leg is going to go from a second position, and you're just going to stretch it straight. Yeah. From here, I'll just show you. So from here, we bring it around, and then we're going to do a half suit new brush back. Okay, read that. So from here, we'll go slow. This goes under first as your left straightens. You want to find that because you want to reach that out. Yeah. Here you go under the left arm and pull. From here, you literally just take it like a spiral. And then from here, your arms are just going to go here to your hip while you do a half suit new brush. Okay, now you're facing the back left diagonal. Here, pull, and step. Yeah, so arms, we go through, we go around, just that. Okay, feet, we go here. This is like a little circle. You do a half suit new. From here, you just brush the left out. Yeah, you're barely doing a turn. It's just an exchange step. Step. Yeah. It should just feel like one of these things, but you're not hopping. We wanna, let's do that again with everything, okay? So from here, we just did cross through, we go pull. From here, we step. We do a circle. Yeah, your elbows will stay this way. Step through. From here, you're literally just gonna change it. We're gonna go step, step. Same thing, yeah. So here, butt up. We go circle, change, step, and step. Yeah. So I want to feel kind of like a suspension here. You're like flicking and you're looking back at that left leg. You're going to step onto it. Your left leg is in a lunge with the right. You're going to step in your right, step out with your left. Yeah, now you're the front diagonal. So we're just switching diagonals. Yeah, let's go back. Hold this. We go pull, we go down, right shoulder, left shoulder. As your left shoulder goes, your leg goes. We pull through, we hit. From here, we go through, right under left. We go circle, half, and step. Yeah, once again. Pull, down. We go right, left, pull. From here, we go hit, right goes under, stretch that left leg. We go around, half, flick, and in. Sort of syncopated. Yeah. How's everyone doing with that? Do we have questions on any parts? Unmute. Let me know. We good? Okay. Let's do it with music really quick. So I'm gonna play the score and you can decide when to start. It's pretty slow. Can you hear it? I'm gonna try to speak a little louder while I do it. So we'll start facing right diagonal. We reach out and down. We go through right. We step through and cross. From here we weave under. We go around. Step through and left. Do it again. We go reach, left arm, wait. Right arm, left shoulder, pull. We go through. From here we go around and for your own, I'm going to keep the music on. Go ahead and just take like 2 minutes to go through any parts that you're getting stuck on. And if you have questions, just raise your hand. We have just a little bit more to go. Can we go back or go on? Keep going? Oh, go back. Okay, great. So once again, we're going to take the right down. We take a right shoulder, left shoulder, pull through with the leg. We step through and we go back. From here, your right leads under your left. We do a little circular. From here, we step, look back, step, and step. Yeah. One more time. We pull through and down. Right shoulder, left shoulder, peel the left leg back. We step through, cross, back. Right arm leaves on the left. We go through, half suit new, look back on the flip, step, and step. Yeah, cool. Okay. We're gonna go on a little bit. Couple things. The next couple parts are more arm focused. So if it's easier this way, you can see my arm face in the back. So you just did a flip back, a lunge left, replace back. Okay. From here, you're just gonna step into a little coupe. Your left foot is in a coupe, and your foot's a little popped. Your right foot is just down. Yeah, so we just went from here, we just step it. Yeah. Step and step, hold the right hand. Yeah. From here, as you're pulling your right in, your arm's gonna go this way, and you're just gonna do a little diagonal. And this is straight until it reaches the top, and then it curves over. But up. So straight, and you're really feeling that curve that goes through your spine all the way down. So again, that opposition force, your left arm goes ha ha. Yeah. Feeling the concave of your left torso to your left arm. So from here, we just did step and step, pull in, round. Yeah. That's a mirror moment. Ha ha. Yeah. From here, you're just gonna do a spiral down. So here, your left leg or left arm goes behind your back. From here, you're gonna transfer the energy as if it's invisible, but those who can see the back, you're just gonna take it here. So transfer it to your right. Yeah. From here, your right arm just swipes across this way, palms facing the front. So we just went here, curve, palms facing the front. We're gonna retrograde that, and we're gonna pass the energy back to the left. This time, you're just gonna do a simple port bras up and down. Yeah, this is all just front. So your left arm curves. Your left arm goes to behind you, brings your right arm forward to a flat. Your right arm curves back towards your left arm. And then from here, you just bring your left arm down, just a simple port bras up and down. Yeah, kind of just like a crescent shape. Yeah. So you want to think of just relax your arms a little bit and just go like this. Yeah, wherever you are. Now try one to pull to the other. Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, that's the feeling you want to feel here. Yeah. So from here, we go up, curve. This brings it through. This swipes it up. This swipes it down. Yeah. I guess your feet do plie just a little bit depending on the natural inclination of that. So again, we just did lunge, lunge. We go up, down, through, up, through. Yeah. So your right leg actually does plie most of it until it goes up, down. Yeah. So it's just arms plie your right. So you're in kind of like a coupe diamond. You can see my legs this way. From here, plie, swipe through. So this is actually like, this is horizontal. From here, horizontal, and then this goes crescent down. Okay. Just one more move and we'll go back. Yeah. After this, you're just gonna do a sharp down. Yeah. So from here, this is the exact opposite. You angle it this way and you chop it through. Yeah. So you have straight curve, we pull through, we go around, crescent, and ba. Yeah. So this is almost like as this is going down, this is a surprise. Yeah. So let's go from here. Yeah. So from here, we pull through this way. Circular, semi switch, left, step, step, pull in, down. From here, horizontal. From here, crescent, bada. Nice. Yeah, yeah. So your left is going down, your right's gonna chop in front and then go down. Yeah. So if you can see it. Yeah. So I'll try to be a little bit closer. So if you don't look at my feet, here we pull through. From here we pull through up, crescent, and down. Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's go once again from this moment. Yeah. So from here, we do right through. Remember to stretch out right leg. We go around. We pull, look back, step, and step. Pull in and around. We go here. We go through up and hit. Yeah. From here, let's go ahead and just go back. Yeah. I'm gonna talk it through from the beginning. We'll go slow. Okay. Any questions on the arm stuff? Are we good? Yeah. You got it. We'll follow along. Yes, all the thumbs up. We'll just go. Okay. So left, down, right shoulder, left shoulder, pull, left leg, cross through, back. From here we weave. We do circle, semi-step through, step lunge, replace. Curve, filling it through. We go around crescent moon and one. Yeah. Cool. Let's do it again. Let's see if I can be a little bit closer. So from here, we go pull, down, right shoulder, left shoulder, pull, we step through, and right goes through, we weave it back, semi-twist, step, and step, pull in, curve. We go through, we go around, crescent, and down. Yeah? Cool. All right. So I'm gonna put on some of the music. It always helps my brain just to break it down. So in whichever natural order you feel like, whether it's a movement that you remember from point A to point B to point B to point C, just do that chunk. Yeah. And I think we have a couple more minutes. So. And feel free to just start with your own timing. You can follow me. I'm just gonna do it. And then I'll actually just repeat it at different speeds if you want to follow along. I'm gonna do a little faster. How are we feeling? I think we have time to do it. Let's go ahead and go through twice through. Yeah, with me. We'll take a breather in between. We'll leave some time, I think like 5 minutes for talking. Yeah. Once without me, I would love to watch. I'll give you a cue to go. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Left shoulder through. Nice. Weaving about. Good. Left. Fantastic. Yeah. And push. Nice. Okay. We have a little bit of a camera. Let's do it again. Yeah, this group. 5, 6, 7, 8. Reach down. Left shoulder, pull through. Round, back, good weave. Back through. Step back, lunge, and lunge. We go up, through, and up, up. Nice. That was beautiful. Thank you. All right. I think, thank you so much. That was fantastic. I think there's a couple minutes to kind of talk, right? Yeah. Appreciate everyone's openness to this. I know that we're all coming from different parts of dancing. So I really appreciate just going with the warm up and going with the combination. Yeah, I think in the last couple of minutes, I guess, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm based out in New York. I'm originally from California, from the Bay Area, and I've been out in New York for about 4 years now. So my company's name is Peter & Co. We're a project-based company. We have a lot of things happening in June. We have a festival on June 11th. We have in-person showing up in Livingston Manor up in the Catskills on the 26th of June. So definitely check out our website. I'll pop it in really quick. I also don't normally teach, so this was a huge pleasure to come out and teach virtually. So I've been pretty against it because I don't like doing virtual stuff. But thank you all for coming on this amazing journey. So
You were amazing tonight. Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of NJ Pack and our amazing team, we have some of our leadership. And I believe you came so highly recommended by our dance chair, Karen Love. And she is on the line tonight. She has not missed a class since we started this dance programming. So we celebrate you, Karen, for making such a great suggestion of Peter Cheng. We just appreciate you. We also have our chair people for our LGBTQ advisory council. We celebrate Madeline and Rubina. They have not missed one class. Yes. We have a few of our volunteers with us that have not missed classes either. They're amazing. Jeanette Marable. When we were in the building, she was always with us, along with Teresa Brown. and her sister. And so we just thank you all. And I see so many familiar faces. Alyssa's been here pretty often. I think we're ready to come out of this COVID quarantine. We're going to be ready. So thank you, Kamar Brown. Our team is amazing. We have Kyra Ruth, who's always with us. We have Donna Walker-Kuhn, our senior advisor for DEI and Standing in Solidarity. And my name is Aisha Marable. I'm the AVP of Community Engagement. And I believe we still have Nigeria here too, the producer of this amazing program. Can we give our team a great big hand? We celebrate you, Peter. We have had an amazing Wednesday night, and it's because of you and all that you do. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you missed the beginning of this program, or if your friend that you invited did not come on tonight, please tell them to visit our YouTube channel. And Peter, we're going to have the link for you very soon so we can see this again and experience the fabulous movement. It was awesome. Yes. So we celebrate you on behalf of ADP and M&T. We honor our funders that make this possible, and we hope to see you next week. Tonight concludes our entire celebration of AAPI, the Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Next week, we begin our Caribbean programming. So please join us for the entire month of June. We're so excited. We want to make sure that if you missed any of them, you can go back and see all of the East Indian from May, all of the from April, all of the Asian American from June, from May, and now we have Caribbean in June. We're going to take off during the summer. We can go back to the pre-recordings, so we'll revisit some of our favorites. We're going to show some of our faves, and then we'll come back in September with wellness, a wellness fair, and we're excited already. Yes. Thank you so much for tonight. We appreciate you. Please get your tickets for an upcoming program. You saw the commercial at the beginning. We have some amazing dance programs coming. You don't want to miss it. Come back home when you get a chance. Come on in the building. Sounds of the City is outside, so you can do that outside. And that's all for free. We thank you. Peter, welcome home. Come again. We appreciate you, and thank you so much. Obviously, Karen knows the absolute most amazing dancers in the whole wide world. You've done a phenomenal job tonight. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Take care. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.